What's up everybody, and welcome to the top 7 power armor mods in Fallout 4. Quick disclaimer, I do want to just mention these are all my opinion. I really encourage you guys at the end of the video to post your own list in the comments down below, and that's really all has to be said about it. So at number 7 on this list, we do have the Operation Anchorage power armor. I put this on the list mainly for the nostalgia factor. A lot of people are probably going to argue it shouldn't even be on the list because it's just a reskin, but what it is, honestly in my eyes, is a really high quality reskin. It is adding a new material and paint for all the different power armors in the game. I show it to you on this particular power armor, but nonetheless it is kind of a throwback to the DLC in Fallout 3, the Operation Anchorage DLC obviously, and I just really liked it. I thought it was a cool little twist to the normal power armors in the game without adding any new models or anything like that. So definitely a high quality paint, and I recommend checking it out for that reason. So at number 2, we do have the Midwestern power armor. This is obviously based off one of the power armors from the previous Fallout games, being Fallout 1 and 2, and I do want to give a quick disclaimer that I'm actually using a mod to change the texture slightly to make it more true to those games. I'll have a link to that in the description down below, and I really recommend using it if you decide to use this mod. Nonetheless, there's not much to the Midwestern power armor. That's why it's so low on this list, despite adding in a totally new modeled power armor. The texture isn't the highest quality thing in the world. There are 2 different paints. I only show one in the video. Another one is just a fully black paint, which I honestly think looks a little bit worse. I do like how they have some wear and tear on the texture, giving that old effect, but I just really think a much updated texture and a higher resolution texture could go a long way with this power armor. Otherwise, it does add in some of your normal bonuses like increased strength, increased charisma, etc. But otherwise, it's relatively simple. There's not a lot going on here. And yeah, if you like the old Fallout games, you would definitely like this. So for that reason, it did make my list, but towards the bottom. So at number 5, we do have the Combat Power Armor. So this is a really nicely done power armor, and there's really nothing wrong with it. I don't have so many complaints as much as some of the other power armors just offer a lot more or a lot higher quality, and that's kind of the stage of the video we're at right now. So basically what I like about the Combat Power Armor is, one, it has its own custom jetpack, which is really cool. None of these power armor mods I don't think have jetpacks, obviously except the Anchorage one because it's just a reskin, but yeah, so I thought that was really cool. As well, it does have a few little additions, such as like that knife you see on me is a thing. You could have weapon pouches instead that increase your ammo, a knife that increases melee damage. Little additions like that make this stand out from the other 2 armors in this, as well as the texture and model is really well done. I really do like how it came out, although there's nothing crazy or super cool about it. It seems relatively standard, and maybe that's what he was going for because it does fit in really well with the rest of the game, but there's basically what I'm trying to say is that this power armor is really well done, it's really well textured and modeled, but there's nothing about it that makes it stand out from the crowd. It really fits into the vanilla scheme of things, which some people will like. I personally like when the power armors add in their own little flavor or kind of change things up a little bit, especially because I'm installing the mod and all that. With that being said, it's still a really well done mod, and it does make it to the number 5 spot. So at number 4, we do have the Construction Power Armor, and I just want to say off the bat, the reason this made this list is because of the model. The model on this is amazing, and I think it's actually just a beautiful model. I actually think the textures bring it down a little. If you saw the shoulders there, it looked like they were kind of a worse quality than the rest of the body, and just there was a few little things like that. But the model of this power armor, the way everything flows together, really sells me on the construction theme, and I just think it looks much nicer than a lot of the other power armors on this list. This is by far my favorite model. A lot of the other power armors have other things I like about them, but I don't know, I really enjoyed looking at this power armor and kind of playing the game in it, which is I imagine what the goal is with all of these mods. But there's nothing else too crazy about it. I thought the model came out really well. The textures flow with it really well, although they could use a little work. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the Construction Power Armor. I definitely recommend you check this one out. Alright, so getting into the top 3 now, we do have the Enclave Power Armor, and as I said with the last one was my favorite model, I think this one's actually my favorite texture by far. I think the Enclave Power Armor is textured beautifully and just looks really good. Like, even when I just put all the armor on a power armor frame, I was like, wow, that came out really well. And that's kind of why it made this spot. There's nothing crazy going on with this, but it's just the textures of this go so far, and I had a lot of fun playing with this. Even the short b-roll I recorded with it, I just really enjoyed what I was doing with it, and just looking at the power armor, which may sound kind of dumb, but Yeah, this one is really high quality, and I definitely recommend you guys check this out, especially for the fact that it's Enclave. There's not many Enclave things in Fallout 4, even just mods in general. There's not a lot going on, and so having the Enclave come back in this way is pretty cool. I'm excited to see if he adds in some of the other Enclave armors in the future. I'd really love to see that. I'm not really an Enclave fan or anything, but I just like some of the old factions coming back, like the NCR and the Enclave. So I think this is going to be the disappointment of the video and what I get a lot of comments on, but yes, I put the Storyteller Power Armor at number 2, so this is obviously going to be based off of, or made for really, the massively successful Storyteller YouTube series made by the Shoddycast. This armor was custom made for the series and then subsequently released at the premiere of the series, or on the same day as the premiere of the series, which makes it kind of insane of how good it is. Like, it seems like this was made for a YouTube video, and it could have just been a cool model and all that, but there's a lot of features here, and there's just a lot to this armor that makes it really nice. One, the texture and the actual model itself are really nice. This is one of them. I really love the shroud. That's one of my favorite things about this armor, but this is one of them. There is another one, which is going to be the Desert Storm. This is the White Death, and basically they each have their own unique abilities. So with the White Death, what you can do is when you're zoomed in with the scope, there will be no sway. You don't have to hold your breath. It'll just be like you're holding your breath the whole time. With the Desert Recon, I think it's called, the Desert Recon armor, it does when you're walking and it's sunny out, it won't use any power cores because it's going to be going off of the solar panels built into the armor. Not so crazy about that one because it doesn't really seem like it would be true. The power armor doesn't have any solar panels on it or anything like that, but the White Death one definitely, it has tons of scopes, and he has like all those little things on his eye that really just sell the sniper feel or marksman feel. That being said, it doesn't make the top spot because I feel like they could have done a little bit more with that. Again, with the Desert Recon one, I just feel like there could have been some solar panels or some other cool features that go on. Maybe in the middle of the desert you can have a solar panel fly out on you and all that. I feel like they committed to this cause, but it was more of an afterthought than a forethought. They modeled the cool armors and then came up with the ideas of how to make them unique, and I don't know, still, they're really, really high quality armors. You should check them out just because they made it this far in the video and because of how well they're done, but my number 1 spot I think is a little bit better. So at the number 1 spot we have the Spartan Power Armor. So I bet a lot of people are going to disagree with this decision, but hear me out for a second. The reason I put the Spartan Power Armor at the number 1 spot is because the author came up with a theme and then built the entire power armor based around that theme, and I absolutely love that. I love that conceptually and in practice and that execution. So the theme around the Spartan Power Armor is an old world styled armor, so it's kind of one of the intro level power armors, not as advanced as some of the other ones, that is meant to be really tanky, and you kind of go in the armor and all that. It actually doesn't have a helmet built in, that's actually just the torso that goes over your head, but what you do is put on a visor, and then that is meant to be inside the little glass enclosure there. I love this. It is a really slow and tanky power armor that it just works well. You even see the weld marks, which it makes it seem not as polished as some of the power armors, and for that reason I just really like it. There's nothing crazy going on with any other features like the additions. There are some, like you could boost your strength or perception, but that's all from the normal game. The reason I really love this again is just because it fits the role it's supposed to play so well, and it seems like that role was thought of before the fact, and then everything was made to mesh with that. Even just a little visor, it's something so simple, not having a helmet and just having that visor, but that made me love this power armor so much when I first made my mod review of it, or spotlight of it. And yeah, so this is definitely my favorite power armor here. I know a lot of you guys are gonna disagree, but I played with all of them and this is the one I came out liking the most. In the comments down below, make sure to tell me what your favorite is, and as always, I thank you for watching.